All right guys, we just got in from getting some groceries and we stopped by the warehouse, grabbed some products that I was out of. I wanted to show you guys what my day sort of consists of as far as my nutrition goes and my supplements. Over the last couple years, things have shifted for me. Coming from bodybuilding for a very long time, I have a lot of good habits that I still do on a daily basis. I love bodybuilding, I love nutrition. I got into nutrition when I was as young as 10 years old. So it's something that is a big part of my life. I'm not able to do it to the same degree that I used to do it when I was bodybuilding, and that was my focus on a day-to-day basis. Now, running multiple businesses, still looking to fit in my nutrition and my training on a weekly basis. Things have just been modified a little bit. Where I used to eat 6 meals a day, now I'm fitting all my macronutrients into maybe 4 meals a day with a post-workout. So I wanted to show you guys what I eat on a daily basis. And a lot of this stuff too has just come down to time management. So I've simplified my diet. Well, for me at least, I've simplified it. So it's something that I can do on a daily basis and to take the thinking out of it. Because a lot of times what happens is if you lay something out that's too complicated for you or you don't enjoy eating it, you're not gonna stick to it. For my protein, PrepShop helps me out. So this is very convenient for me. It saves me a lot of time, allows me to stick to my diet on a daily basis. So I get the chicken breast from them. I also do the flank steak, and then I use a ProHD. So those are my protein sources, very simple. When it comes to the carbs, I tend to mix it up a little bit. I try to stick to carbs that does very well for me. That tends to be white rice. Both of these carbs, the Elevate cream of rice and the organic sushi rice, the best digesting carbs for me. So most of my carbs come from them. I also love oatmeal, but the problem with oatmeal is there's too much phytic acid in it. It can sort of interfere with the absorption of certain vitamins and minerals. So I try to stay away from eating oatmeal, even though it's something I grew up on. Oatmeal is one of those things that always has a kid, the flavored Quaker oatmeal packets. So I just something about it I love. I love mixing almond butter and other things into it. So I still do have it once a day, but I stick with a sprouted oats, which does have less phytic acid in it. And I have that before I go to bed. I do love organic white pasta. So sometimes I will include organic white pasta. I eat this for 3 months straight. In the last 3 weeks, I haven't been eating it as much because I did lower my calories a little bit. And because it is a little bit higher density, I try to stay away from the pasta when I'm, trying to right now I'm actually trying to lose some weight. So that's my carbohydrates. So when it comes to the fats, you get your olive oil, you got your omega-3s, almond butter. These two I have at the end of the night. I love these. Just shredded coconut. I actually just have this just because I love the flavor and texture of it. So I sprinkle it in my oatmeal. Pecans, I love pecans, are my favorite nut. I just break those up. They're really crunchy. Again, I'm a huge texture guy, so I love the texture when I mix all that together. So those are all the foods I eat on a daily basis. So yeah, we'll sort of go through what my day looks like, how I structure my meals. All right, for meal one, pretty simple. I've been having this breakfast for well over a year. Got 7-ounce chicken breast. I throw it in the pan just to heat it up. I don't like putting it in the microwave. I feel like when I throw it in the pan, I throw my sauce in there and just kind of give it a couple twirls and saute it. It brings it back to life. And then I'll do 80 grams of cream of rice. I'm loving the new coconut flavor from Elevate. And I mix that with 15 grams of almond butter. 80 grams cream of rice, 15 grams almond butter. While I'm preparing all that, I enjoy 1 tablespoon of this raw honey. Then I'll have 4 capsules of omega-3 to give me 5 grams of fat from omega-3s. So that is my meal one. That's about 800 calories. Something I also encourage you guys to do, try to utilize AI to help with your fitness or nutrition goals. I just tapped in my whole diet here and it just spit out all the macros for each meal. Like this meal, for example, 818 calories, 70 grams of protein, 85 grams of carbs, 21 grams of fat. So really, really helpful to utilize AI. If you guys don't know what you're eating, you have a question, let's just say, for example, you're eating, 80 grams of cream of rice and you don't want to have rice that day and you want to have pasta, just ask AI, hey, if I'm eating 80 grams of cream of rice, how much pasta do I have to cook? So simple things like that, it's very, very helpful for. For meal two, it's your standard bodybuilding meal here. We got another 7 ounces of chicken. And when I cook my rice, so I'm using white rice, what I do for simplicity purposes, saving time, if I am traveling, I'm going to work for the day, I'll cook 2 meals at once. So I'll throw in 180 grams into my rice cooker back there, and I'll just split that in 2. When you are doing the 90 grams of rice, the carbs, 72 grams of carbs, so that's what this meal has. And then I'll mix 10 grams of olive oil into that meal, and I'll usually prep 2 of those. If I am traveling, actually, instead of my next meal, just having bison or steak, something I like to do is I would actually just cook my bison at the same time, and then I would mix the 2 proteins and just split it in half. I just find it's easier to do that. And on days that I would do that with the bison, I would just simply make the macro macro change and maybe not do the olive oil if there is more fat coming from the bison. So I'll just sort of like, you know, allow myself to make those little adjustments. But like, let's say for example, I don't have any bison. Like I forgot to buy it. I don't have any in the freezer because I put it in the freezer, thawed out the night before. Sometimes for meal 2 and 3, it will just be my 7-ounce chicken for both meals with 10 grams of olive oil and my sushi rice. So I do allow myself a little bit of flexibility. On days that I'm not working, I really love cream of rice. So if I am traveling and working, it's not something I really bring with me because I like to make it here at home, my pot on the stove. So if I am at home for that day, I wouldn't do the white rice and I would go with the cream of rice. I'd usually switch it up between these 2 flavors. I love the maple brown sugar and I love the coconut, and I mix it with almond butter. Usually when I have that, I just make the macro calculation change for like say the olive oil. Those are like small changes that I allow myself to make just because I know the macros and everything, so I can kind of switch it up. For meal 4, which is my last meal of the day, that's where I'll use the sprouted oats. And I get a little bit creative with this. As I was bodybuilding, I always like made these power bowls where I'd mix like nut butter and nuts and all these different things in there. That's where I do 80 grams of the sprouted oats, and I'll do 10 grams of coconut shavings, and I'll do 10 grams of pecans, and I'll do 10 grams of almond butter. And then I will put my protein shake on top of that and sort of mix it all. And then I'll dust it at the end with the coconut flakes again. It tastes like a dessert to me. Like I love it. So I really look forward to that. It's usually when I'm like just winding down, chilling out. And then all my meals, I'm always adding 1/4 teaspoon of real salts from Redmond. Calories here break down to be 3,327 with 309 grams of protein, 336 grams of carbs, and 82 grams of fats. My calories are gonna be a little bit more than that because like every day I allow myself 1 piece of fruit. I've been choosing, these are Cosmic Crisp apples, but usually I love Honeycrisp. I've been mixing it up between those 2 apples. And this amount of calories for me personally, this allows me to be in a deficit, and I'm losing, the last couple of weeks I've actually been losing 2 to 3 pounds a week. All right, so since I'm home today, it is meal 2, and because I'm not traveling, I'm gonna go with the cream of rice. I'll show you guys how I make that on the stovetop. Before I measure my cream of rice, I just throw the pot on, and I like to bring the water to pretty much like a boil, so that way when I put the cream of rice in, it cooks a lot quicker. So I'm gonna weigh out 80 grams, which should be like just shy of 2 scoops. That one was 41 grams. For meal 2, I'm doing the chicken breast. So whenever I'm cooking, I always use like either a coconut spray or an avocado spray. Then I've been using the Flavor Gang sauce. Mariah, which sauce? I like the orange one. What's it called?
Takeout.
Takeout. All right, when I make my cream of rice, I really enjoy this meal. Like I love the cream of rice. So I love texture, and I want to make sure there's no clumps in it. I use a whisk. This has been something that I've found very, very helpful. I find this like dummy proof. So when you dump it in, as long as you just give it a good hard whisk, everything breaks up. There's no clumps, but it's important that you don't let it sit for too long. So I'll like let it sit for like 30 seconds, and I'll give it a whisk every 30 seconds, probably like 3 or 4 rounds, just to make sure it's all mixed and it has a really, really creamy texture. I love food. I have a big appetite, so I don't mind spending the 4 or 5 minutes to prep this meal. But that being said, I'm not picky. Like if I pack my meals, I have no problem eating them cold. I think it's probably because my appetite's so big, but because I like food, I do like to make sure it tastes good, if I can. In like 3 minutes, it's almost done, so I'll just weigh out my almond butter, and I'll do 15 grams. Yeah. Throw it in there. I'll give it a stir, and that is pretty much ready. My chicken's ready. Sauce on. A lot of people might look at this and be like, oh, that's too much preparation, but it literally took under 5 minutes. Then I'll put a 1/4 teaspoon salt. And if I want it to get thicker, like you can see it's pretty thick, but if you just leave it on a little bit longer, it'll get rid of more moisture and it'll just keep getting thicker. But you'll see the texture to this is gonna be pretty good. But I love these, what do you call this, Mariah? Like a bowl plate, this one?
Bowls that are plates too?
I just feel like it cools down a lot quicker, because if I use like a traditional bowl and it's so deep, it just like stays so hot forever. Where this cools down a lot quicker, and the quicker I can enjoy it. So the first thing I do when I wake up, it's really important for me, is to get hydrated. I'll get a shaker cup loaded up with about 750 to 1 liter of water, and I'll mix 5 different ingredients into that shaker cup, and that will consist of these 4 HT muscle products, 10 grams of collagen, 10 grams of glutamine, 5 grams of creatine monohydrate from Creapure, 5 grams, sometimes 10 grams of the peach flavor EAA to give it flavor. And one of the things that I mix in there that I'm not showing here right now because I'm actually all out of it is the Redmond Relight. I'll do a scoop of that, sodium and all your electrolytes and minerals. We're actually working on our own hydration supplement called HydraHD. You guys know how much I love the Redmond Relight. I've used that product for years. So we spent the last last couple years actually trying to formulate this. When formulating minerals, it gets a little bit tricky because a lot of them are bitter. So I really took our time with this product, and we're really hoping that we can come out with it later on this summer. You know, something that's important for me when formulating or when choosing an electrolyte product is for it to be a balanced product. And one thing I noticed that's a huge problem with a lot of the electrolyte based supplements is there's actually no sodium in there. There's just a high amount of potassium. So with the Hydra HD, you can be guaranteed that we're gonna have a product that's very well rounded. It's gonna have all the minerals you need in it, with a proper amount of sodium to make sure you're hydrated first thing in the morning. This is meal one. Because I'm so busy right now, I don't have time to be buying all my vitamins and minerals and health products individually and taking 10, 12 different products at a time. That's why we actually formulated the VitaHD, because this has all your health support, whether it's ubiquinol, whether it's stress management, ashwagandha, has pine bark in it, grapeseed extract. And then it has all the proper amounts of the vitamins and minerals and all the most bioavailable forms to make sure that your body is actually absorbing the largest percentages. Not only that, we added other ingredients in there like Spectra, which is a great antioxidant. I can't say enough good things about this product. If you're unsure what to be taking on a daily basis, you can be assured that the VitaHD has everything you need. The only thing I add on top of this is the D3 and the K2. When formulating this product, we are in Canada. With MPNs, there was some limitations on the amount of D3 that you could add to your vitamins. So for that reason, we have the D3 sold separately, and I add an additional 2 capsules to give me an extra 4,000 IUs of vitamin D3, and I add 160 mcgs of vitamin K2. So I'll have 5 capsules in the morning with the D3 and K2, and then I'll have another 5 capsules with meal number 4. If you guys are looking for a product that's just a multivitamin mineral without all the additional health support ingredients, that's why we made the Multi HD. This has the same ingredient profile when it comes to the vitamins and minerals as a VitaHD without all the extra stuff. So when choosing a multivitamin HD, it's not about choosing which one's better, it's about choosing which one suits your lifestyle best. So right now I'm training 4 days a week. Post-workout, I'll have 40 grams of ProHD. I use the vanilla one. I really like the flavor combination when I mix it with 40 grams of the Carb HD and the strawberry kiwi. So I'll mix those two together. I'll get 40 grams of carbs, 40 grams of protein, and I'll put a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in there, and I'll drink that within 15 minutes of training. And then I'll wait about 45 to 60 minutes. By that time, I'll either be home or my meal will be ready, and then I'll have my next meal. Last but not least, these 3 products I take with my last meal of the day. I will do 1 capsule of citrus bergamot, which is great for cholesterol support and actually lipid management as well. 4 capsules of the liver HD, and I'll have 3 capsules of sleep HD. Those are all the supplements that I'm using right now on a daily basis. The only one that's not here, these are 2 of my favorite flavors right now. So right here we have the Elite Pink Lemonade. We got the Peach Rings and the Ultra. These products are both awesome. This one's stim free, this one has stimulants. So depending on the day, I'll mix it up between the 2 of them. One thing that I've noticed when having a lot of conversations, because I was coaching for so long, I have a lot of people that reach out to me for coaching. You know, I think one of the biggest things is just people are looking for the answers or looking for something that they can follow to get in shape or some type of secret where there really isn't any. I think everyone's at different parts of their journey. Everyone has different goals with different expectations. I think it's really important to structure something and set something up that's like a lifestyle for yourself. Don't compare yourself to other people. Do something that fits your lifestyle and allow room for improvement. I just showed you guys my meals today, and I only eat 4 times a day. And on days I train, I have a post-workout, so maybe call it 5. But that's something that I know I can stick to on a daily basis with my busy schedule between meetings, clients, everything I'm doing on a daily basis. I really think it's important that people just structure their days in a way that it suits them, and don't think that you need to eat 6 meals a day. And if you don't eat 6 meals a day, you can't bodybuild and it's not going to work out, or because your buddy's doing something. Even training, you can train. If you're on a tight schedule, you can train 3 times a week. You don't need to go 5 times a week. The best plan is one that you can stick to on a daily basis, right? Because a lot of people look at these plans when they get from a coach as like, oh, I'm on a diet. The diet's not going to last. It's not going to work. You need to come up with something that is a lifestyle that you enjoy. Like I showed you guys earlier, you saw the meals I'm making. I showed you that, hey, when I'm home, I take the time to make it taste good. This is something I'm doing now, and I've been doing for the last 20 something years. Oh my gosh, longer than that. Something that I think can help a lot, adopting a lot of these great principles to your lifestyle. Stan Efferding made a book years ago. It's called The Vertical Diet, and you can get it on Amazon. There's a lot of really, really good information in there, because the more you can learn yourself on how to adopt these principles to your own lifestyle, the more successful you're going to be. I got the book here somewhere. There it is.
Show the book.
There it is. Vertical diet, stand efforting. Compliance is the science. Guys, I think we're gonna keep this sort of like style of video going. We'd love to hear what you guys think about it. If you guys wanna see anything specifically, just comment down below. Yeah, looking forward to sharing a little bit more of my day-to-day and the way I do things. Until next time.